Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining me for this Facebook Live all about the lies of magic. I've had so many people talk to me, especially recently. Oh, I need to get my comments up. Hi, Claire. Comments are live. Awesome. We'll also have this translated, but if you're listening to me, then you might not know what I'm saying. But we'll have some translation links in there for you as well. Hi. Hello. All right. I've had so many people, especially recently, talking to me about this concept of like, what if I'm not magical? What if I'm not a wizard? What if this doesn't apply to me? So I was really inspired to come here and do a live on this topic and explore with you guys what I've discovered is true about magic and hopefully get you aware of what is true for you about magic. So if you've never heard of the Access Consciousness tools, you've never engaged with me or anything, I want you to have this basic tool. Anything that gives you a sense of lightness. And that means like, you know, those days where you feel like you're a little weightless, you're like just kind of like joyful, you have like an expansion in your energy. Okay, you know what I'm talking about? That's lightness. And it can show up physically in your body, and sometimes it's just a space, like you're just like, wow, I'm so expanded. Okay, that is what's true for you. So if as I'm talking and I'm like exploring this concept of magic with you, if you have a sense of lightness, even if your mind's saying, we already have decided all these things about this, I'm going to invite you to go with the lightness, because that is your lie detector. It's a magical tool, actually. It is a lie detector that lets you know what's true for you. Doesn't mean it's true for everyone else, but it's true for you. And then if something feels heavy and you know someone's lying to you, when someone says something, you're like, oh, it's some heavy stuff. You know what that is. That is when there's something not true for you. And it could be mixed in there. There could be like a little bit of truth. Yes, we will add the translation links. Just messaging my magician, my background wizard. Sorry. Okay, so here we go. Lost my mojo. No, I didn't lose my mojo. Lost my train of thought though, for sure. Okay. Magic, heaviness, lightness. All right, you get a sense of heaviness, ask more questions. Some of it might be true, all of it might be lies, and you could just toss it away. So this is how we're going to play. As we explore this, and I'm going to ask you some questions, this is how you know what you know, because I could just tell you all that I know. I could be up here and be like, blah, blah, blah. I'm a wizard and I know all these things. That doesn't really benefit you in any way, right? But if I could get you to get clear, to access your knowing, to access your magic, that is where you get more of you. And that's where you get to learn what's true for you. As we are exploring these lies of magic, when we're really exposing the lies, you're going to have to use your light and heavy. All right. So here's one of the first lies, is that magic doesn't exist. Yeah. It's like a fantasy. It's like a fairy tale. It's like some woo-woo bullshit. Okay. Let's get practical here for a minute. Do you know anything about science? Do you know about energy? Do you know that everything is energy? Have you ever looked into like quantum physics? Just like lightly, just brushing over lightly. This is magic. Hi, Jennifer. Oh my gosh, it is so great to engage with you. I need to see you in person soon. Give you some hugs. All right, so energy. We know energy exists. We know that if you observe a molecule, it actually changes. Is that not magic? Magic is this is the definition of magic that I love the most. And it came from a very special wizard, Gary Douglas. And he says that magic is when you don't buy anyone else's reality above your own. Hi, Melody. Wow. You don't buy anyone else's reality above your own. That is when you are living in a reality of magic. That's how I like to live my life. I don't know about you. Okay, so does magic exist? Heavy or light? I'm guessing if you're even here, you must have a sense that magic is true, but maybe you're going, how do I access it? How do I bend it to my will? How do I use this to my advantage? Comes to the next lie, that you have to be special to have magical powers. Oh, yeah, they're not letting these be clickable. That's kind of a bummer. I guess you have to copy and paste. Sorry, my friends. I'm trying to make translation easy for you. But we will have everything uploaded afterwards too. So we'll just have to work on it. Magic. You are magic. Here we go. So how do you know that you're magic? There's one very good telltale sign. And just look at this for a minute. Are you interested in magic? So do you like to watch, any type of show or movie that has a magical element, or read books with it? Maybe it's it could be on the superhero, like superpower. It could be more towards like fairies and wood elves and suddenly I'm thinking about Narnia. It could be the Lord of the Rings books. It could be even like Disney cartoons, Are you interested in magic whatsoever? Are you drawn to dragons and mermaids and any of that stuff? I'm just letting you wonder about that for a minute. If you get yes, that is a very, very high indication that you are a magical being, because we are drawn to that which we know is true. And that which we are. You wouldn't be drawn to it if you weren't it. Non-magical creatures are not drawn to magic, because the only reason you're not a magical creature is because you don't desire to be a magical creature. There we go. I just exposed one of the biggest lies. And it's so easy to just know, what do you like? What are you interested in? You're here on a Facebook Live about exposing the lies of magic. I'm pretty convinced that you're a magical creature. You're a wizard of some sort. So can you tap into your light and heavy? Does this light you up at all? Are you smiling a bit? Do you have some little tingles going on somewhere? Are you curious to learn more about magic? Would you actually like to find out what you're capable of? Would you like to utilize your magic to your advantage? Here is another way to explore your wizardry. Are there certain areas in your life that no matter what you've done, Renata says, I am. Yeah, you are. Are there certain areas in your life where no matter what, you seem to be failing or having a really hard time with it? Yes, yes, yes. Most of us can say yes. Now, this is what's so crazy. That is also an indication that you're a wizard. How do I know that? Because as a humanoid, we can have ease in every area of our life. Ease is just natural, okay? So to be having difficulty in an area would suggest that you have a capacity that you've turned against yourself. Yeah. So I have actually, we're relaunching next year, but a membership called Money Miraculous. And that's exactly what we would do in there, is we would take all the people that were having so many difficulties with money, and we would take that capacity with money, and then we would turn it 180 degrees, or maybe it was like this. I love it because the translators are going to be doing the same thing. with their hands. So you turn that 180 degrees and you find the capacity in it. What? Yeah. So what have you made wrong about you? What have you decided is just not wonderful, magical about you that truly is? That if you allowed yourself to know it would expose the lie of the magic and unlock the wizardry so you could use it to your advantage. So where are these difficult places in your life? So it could be money. Some people's bodies, their body is always hurting. Their body is always in pain. Could be they can never get the weight that they want. They can never get the muscle that they want. They have like constant digestive issues, like whatever. So if you have this going on with your body, you can ask, do I have a magic with bodies? Now, if you've decided, and a lot of us have, if you've decided that it's impossible, if you decided that you are awful and terrible with bodies, that you have nothing to contribute to the world of bodies, this is going to be a hard question for you to look at, actually vulnerably look at, because your decisions cloud your awareness. Any decision, conclusion, computation you have about anything will lock you into something and makes it so much harder to change. So let's clear those. So all of the decisions, judgments, conclusions, and computations you have about you and your magic, will you destroy and create that, please? Right, wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 100, shorts, boys, poets, Christians, bases, and beyonds. You might be wondering, what did she just say there? If you're new to me, that was the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement. You can go to theclearingstatement.com for more information. I'm not going to go into it, but essentially it's a magic wand. We just use it to clear out energy so we can bring up all this stuck energy and clear it out as if by magic. Here we go, exposing more magic for you. You don't even have to understand what it is, and you can just use it. Okay, Melanie says, love, relationships, and money. Awesome. And why I say awesome is this is just a really actually fun. If you're willing to get out of like the trauma or the upset of it, you can go, wow, how fun is it for me to look at these places where I feel so stuck, I feel so incompetent, I feel so wrong, and to go, whoa, underneath all this shit is massive power, is massive possibility, is so much magic. So Melanie would take relationships, and she could go, okay, so if I turned so she could ask this question, like, what capacities do I have with relationship? Something I know Melanie briefly, okay, but we've had some interactions and I adore her. But something about Melanie is so endearing that you kind of just fall in love with her, which is funny that she's telling me that love and relationships is one of her challenges. It's so funny. Oh, yay. So first you have to acknowledge the capacity, guys. And I see this with people with body stuff. They're like, they have all this body pain. I'm like, hey, are you a healer, or do you have capacities with the earth, or, right? And I'll ask these questions about it to pull out the awareness of like, what is actually going on here? What is this capacity? And they're like, well, I don't want this. Well, here's the thing. You can't just not want your capacity. If you've put up that wall and barrier, if you've done that, then you have no choice with it. It will be done to you. So how many of you are your capacities, your magic being done to you, from you, because you're not actually willing to step up and be it? You're not willing to turn it and use it for you. And wow. Okay. So all the, we're getting pretty deep on Facebook Live here. All of the oaths and vows you've made to never use your magic for you, as though it was only supposed to be for others. Blah. Really destroy and integrate that, please, times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good and bad, talking about all 100 shorts, boys, bovas, creation, species, and beyond. Who was it? Aphrodite or like the sirens, like that just like would make people fall in love with them. So if Melanie has this like capacity to just draw people in and get them to just fall in love with her, somewhere, sometime, some lifetime, that was twisted, right? And there can be a million different reasons why. But that was shifted and used against her. And now this is an area where she seems to be struggling. Okay. And same, I talked about that with money. Bodies is a big one. The first thing you need to do, guys, is just acknowledge, I have a capacity in this area. If I'm struggling in this area, I probably have a capacity in this area. You don't have to believe me. Ask yourself. What's true for you will make you lighter. What's not true for you will make you heavier, right? So, and then maybe demand truth, because if you've decided, and I've had this, every body person I work with, every magical creature that has body issues, all of them, every single time I'm like, is this a capacity? The first thing out of their mouth is, I don't want it. And they won't even look at it. You got to get present with it. Got to lower those barriers and just get with it. Like just so brutally, vulnerably raw and present with this energy and go, truth, is this a capacity of mine? If it's light, just acknowledge it. Just acknowledge it. Okay, cool. This is a capacity of mine. Is it fun right now? No, it's not. Maybe you have tons of debt, past expenditures. Maybe you have a body that screams all the time. Maybe you have the worst relationships that anyone has ever seen. Okay. Maybe all animals hate you. Like, whatever it is, it's a capacity. And you might not understand how, but just know that it is. Yes, it is, says Melanie. Exactly. Now, if you take it and flip it 180 degrees, you can start to acknowledge, and you can just ask yourself, if I flip this 180 degrees, what would this actually be? Okay, you write that down. Write these things down if you want. If I flip this 180 degrees, what would this actually be? Oh, you might start to have some more awareness. Maybe it's this, maybe it's this, maybe it's this. I found that I got relationship doubts there are creating doubts in my finances. Ooh, nice. And I mean nice by the awareness of how cool is that to see how they're overlapping and how maybe this capacity here is creating the doubts and the destruction over here as well. Okay, so this is one way, and one of many ways to start playing with these capacities that you have. Let's go into it like another playful thing. What do you get really enthusiastic about? Like for some people, it's like herbs, gardening. I have a friend who loves dahlias, especially. She loves flowers, but she's kind of obsessed with dahlias. And she follows these Instagram pages with like beautiful flower farms. And sometimes she'll bring me one of them, like a little bouquet of her dahlias. And I have to say, I've seen these flowers before. They've been in all kinds of places. Her particular flowers have such an essence to them. They have this gorgeous magic to them, and they almost sing to me. Like I'll have them by me, and they just sing and sing and sing to me all day long. She has this incredible capacity with especially these particular flowers, right? Okay, dancing. Oh my God. Yes, I love dancing too. Fashion. Yes, fashion. Beauty, being around wizards, music. Okay. So when you're really drawn to something like that, you would have a magic with it. Now, it doesn't always look like we think it might look. Like, for example, I am like so drawn to the violin. There's something just so exquisite about it. I'm sure I was a violinist in one lifetime. At this time in life, I don't know how to do violin. I've never practiced. I think it would be fun to pick up, but I don't know if I would like really dedicate myself to it at this time in my life anyways, right? So, but I could ask so if I was using my mind, which I never want you to do, I would go, oh, so if I'm drawn to the violin, I must become a violinist, or I must be really good at this, or I must, and we have all these conclusions and stuff. No. What if it's not that at all? What if I would ask, okay, what is my capacity here? And actually explore that. Okay, what is my capacity with the violin? What is that? Oh, okay. I'm actually having some awarenesses right now. And then I would go, and you always say this, and how could I use this in my life? How can I use this to create more? How can I use this to create more possibility in the world? How can I use this to create more in my life? And again, it might not look like I take up violin lessons, and it might. So, horses, says Claire. Yes, home care. I don't know what RS is, but these are all awesome. So again, horses, it's like, okay, I'm really drawn to horses. Does that mean that you're supposed to go become a trainer, a horse trainer? No, guys, don't go to these silly conclusions. And I know you weren't, Claire. Actually, look at that. What is that? What is it with beauty? What is that capacity? And how can I use this? And you're not trying to necessarily figure out the how. What you're doing is when you ask, how could I be using this to create more? You're inviting the universe to conspire with you. And you're inviting your own capacity to show you, because your capacities can actually show you. By the way, guys, I'm giving you so much information in very fast, in a very short amount of time. You may need to re-listen to this, okay? So, and allow your capacity to show you how to create more in your life. And then you're also giving it a job, right? You're turning it around. You're going, okay, I have a capacity with beauty. So some people, what they would do is define what that is, or they would use it against themselves. Woo! But if you start to ask, how do I use this to create more in my life? How do I use this to create more in the world? You see how you start to turn it. And you start to invite the capacity to show you where to go, to show you how to engage with it, to show you how to play. And then things are going to show up. So like, for example, if we take the horses, I know that Claire lives on this beautiful property and there's wild horses. And she's been like really exploring that capacity with the horses. But they showed up, right, to invite her to explore. The quickest, this doesn't sound quick, and it is, the quickest and most dynamic way to explore your capacities is to actually explore your capacities, is to actually engage with them. To discover how you're going to wield them is not taking a class where someone tells you exactly this is how you meditate, this is how you levitate, this is how you walk through walls. That stuff can be helpful. There's lots of energies and different awarenesses you can get from that stuff, but playing with it, playing with your own capacity and engaging with that capacity, asking it to show you, is truly the quickest, most dynamic way. So for her with the horses, she's been exploring, she's been asking questions, she's been allowing her capacity to guide her. What if we allowed our capacities to guide us to where do we need to go? Who do we need to talk to? What do we need to explore? If it's the earth, okay, where do I need to go on this planet to explore this capacity with the earth? If it's with relationships, all right, who do I need to talk to? Who do I need to engage with? And it can be in a class format, right? So if it's like, oh my God, it's energy works. Okay, which energy class? And maybe it isn't a class yet. You will know as you go along. But it's the more you are actually hands-on engaging with it, you are playing with these capacities, is how you're going to pull out your magic with it, rather than trying to duplicate how someone else does it. Because the way like Claire would be with horses would be very different than how I would be with horses. And what if we both have very unique, beautiful capacities with horses and, dancing and all those things? So, oh, is this? I notice I've been trying to understand how to turn it instead of just receiving. Oh, yeah. Yeah. The moment I ask you to turn it, you've already energetically done it, because energy is so fast, your mind actually can't follow it. So if we're committed to our mind, it gets confusing because we're trying to get our mind to catch up. But energy is so fast that it can't often catch it. Um, so when you ask, like, okay, if I turn this 180 degrees, what would this be? You're going to have it in a nanosecond. You might get a cognitive awareness, and you might just get an energy. And then you go, okay, capacity, show me, and see what shows up. Like, you might be like, wow, I have capacities with the earth. And then you get called to take a cooking class, and you're like, okay, why am I taking this cooking class? And in this cooking class, you start working with herbs, you start working with vegetables, you start working with, and then you're like opening and unlocking this huge capacity that you never even realized you had. And it came from a cooking class. See, it's not linear. You got to follow that capacity. Yes. What I enjoy so much in the wizards play, experiencing our capacities while contributing to other wizards. This is what I love too. What she is talking about is I have a membership called Wizardry. And this is exactly what we do, guys. Like, what I'm doing here with you in this kind of general thing is something that we do in this membership. So we gather minimum three times a month, sometimes more. And one of the things we do is called Wizards Play. And I actually have people play with other wizards, exploring their capacities with energy, with awareness, with the earth, with all sorts of stuff. We have a different theme every month. It's like it's actually truly my favorite thing. We usually get together on Thursdays, and Thursdays are my favorite days. Like, you'd think my day off would be more favorite, but I'm so enlivened and in so much joy when I get to do these wizardry calls. Thanks, Renata, for putting it there. And we have it translated in a few languages. We got Portuguese, we got French, and we have got Spanish, baby. So if that's enticing to you at all, please come. We have kind of two different possibilities with that. So we've got the full membership, where we do, like I was saying, like 3 and minimum of 3 times. Last month we met like 7 times. Depends on, because we have like some chaos and some themes going on. But we also have something called experiencing the magic. And that's where you can just like get a taste to experience magic in your life. Every month we have at least one thing. And it's a really, really economical price, guys. Like, and it's like country pricing. It's such a sweet, sweet, sweet deal. And in those, you can start to, from a very energetic level, start to expose these lies about magic. But also, what I get so enthusiastic about is we're exposing the truths about you with magic. We're exposing like where you have powers, where you have capacities, because isn't that the joy of life and living? Like, isn't that the joy to live your life as magic, as if by magic, with magic? Yes. So I was just saying, if I missed anything in the thread, allow in our lives, always the question. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, everyone, for all the links and stuff, exposing and actualizing the truth. Exactly. So it's actually one of my capacities. So I have this capacity. I don't know why I have it. It's just here. And I can actually pull out like really unique, like I'll be facilitating and I'll be like, do you have a capacity and like something like this? And I'll start to like pull it out, kind of like I'm exposing it so that it can actualize. And it's amazing the things that have shown up. And someone's like, oh my God, yes. And once you have that, remember at the beginning, I said the first step is acknowledging. Once you can acknowledge, whoa, this is something true about me, your whole life can change. It's the first thing, right? It's like, this goes. And then you start to engage with, and how do I use this to create more in my life? Magic is here to make our lives not just easier. We're not just like, I think of Fantasia with Mickey Mouse, where he was like, this would be so much easier if I had things cleaning for me, right? And then they show how it goes to disaster, and there's supposed to be a little moral in there. I say pock and pod that, destroy and uncreate all of that and all the implants from that, even though I think Mickey is very adorable. What if it was here to create more ease in our lives? What if it was here to make our lives really easy? When you look at the phrase as if by magic, that is when something shows up with the elegance of no effort, of little effort, the least amount of effort with the greatest result. That is elegance. The least amount of effort with the greatest result. And when that is, for me, that is as if by magic. That is when something shows up and I'm like, wow, I didn't even work hard for that. I didn't even think I was like going for this, but I did request it and it showed up as if by magic, baby. Yeah, I like to do it. It's like a joy of mine, because I like exposing something about me. And don't worry, we are going to wrap this up soon. Before I started my magic journey, like before I started, I was always drawn to magic. I read growing up, oh my God, I read the whole like Narnia series. I read so many different magical books, Wrinkle of Time, like everything I could get my hands on. I loved magical everything, dragons and powers, superheroes, loved it all. Okay. But I was the most unlucky person that you ever met. Like, if it was like, oh, well, let's go downtown on this day because no one's out and there'll be so much parking. And I would go down and I would be the only one out of like a group of like 5 or 6 people that couldn't find parking. And I would have ever arrived before them. And I was parked like 10 blocks away because I could never find parking. If there was a board game and it was based on chance, like rolling dice, impossible. I would always, no matter what, if you wanted to get a high roll, I would get a low one. If you wanted to get a low roll, I'd get a high roll. I actually had someone test this once. I had someone go, okay, because they didn't believe me. And I'm like, I'm literally the unluckiest person that has ever existed on planet Earth. And so they tested it. They're like, we're going to do a controlled test. And I'm like, okay. So he gives me a set of dice and he goes, you're going to roll 30 times in a row. I'm going to mark down like all the rules that you get. Your target is to get as high as you can. I'm like, okay. So I'm rolling 2, 1, 2, 2, 3, 1. I roll. He writes it all down. And he's like, okay, so now you do it 30 again. And your target is to get the lowest roll possible. I'm 6, 4, 5, 5, 5, 6, 6, 6. Not kidding. And until he saw the evidence, he did not believe me. And then he was like, that is crazy. So I was the most unlucky person ever. Yeah, this is what was true. When I started to access my capacities, when I started to realize that I was using so much of my power against myself, and then discovering how to turn that 180 degrees and engage with it in a different way, I am often one of the luckiest people. Like I get parking where there should never be parking. Like I get things showing up that should be so challenging and difficult. I'm not saying in every area of my life yet, but so many areas of my life. I'll be in an airport and everyone's like, oh my God, and the plane's we're going to be late and all this stuff. And I'm like, no, I'm good. And people have actually been like, I'm following her because I just know, I'm just know everything's going to show up as if by magic for me, because that is how I live my life. I didn't get there overnight. It took me like years of really honing in on my capacities and learning how to use them for me, not against me, because I had dedicated so much of my life to dimming myself down, to twisting myself against me, to being less than I am. Anyone can relate to that possibly here. Whew. So the lies of magic are very simple. You don't have to be a freaking guru. You don't have to be some status. You could be a, stay-at-home mom that's never done anything extraordinary. You could be someone that literally lives on the street and has nothing to their name. You can be, the rich billionaire that just money comes in with ease. You could be any status. You could be any race, culture, gender, non-gender. There is actually no formula other than this choice and willingness to be it. So the first thing is to acknowledge you are a wizard, and you may have decisions about that. I invite you to destroy those decisions about that, because you're here and you're engaging with this and you're interested in it. You are a wizard, and just acknowledge it. The beginning is to go, okay, cool. I don't feel like it. And it doesn't mean that you feel like it when it's light. It just means it's true. I don't feel like a wizard, but I am a wizard. That's the start. Or maybe you're like, I do feel like a wizard. Actually, I feel really magical, and I'm going to acknowledge that. And then how do I use this to create more in my life? Capacity, show me. Magic, show me. Maybe you're going to come in and join us in wizardry. Maybe you want to come experience the magic with us. Maybe you want to dive in and explore this with a bunch of really kind, wonderful wizards that are truly here. This group is so amazing. And I almost do this because I'm it blows my mind, the people that have shown up for this and that continue over the years to show up for this particular membership are always such kind people, such kind wizards. And maybe you'd like to join, and maybe you want to explore with us. I would love to have you there. I would love to sit down with you and look across from you and ask you, do you have a capacity with fill in the blank? And then we get to explore that. And then we get to pull it out. And you get to start actualizing this in your life. Oh, thank you, Jennifer. That makes me so happy. That's my desire. I really, truly would love us all to be living more magical lives, because it brings more magic here. And magic is very curious. It's very mysterious, and it's so fun. And that's what I actually like about that. There is no perfect formula that we can all fit into, because magic is so mysterious that it will lead you to the most incredible places, like a cooking class, like a membership with a girl that strangely likes to shave her head, to maybe this live here, just to open up a door today. Wherever it will lead you, it will lead you if you will follow. I used to tell my body it is thin and it responds to it. Now I'm telling we are muscular. Ooh, I like it. Yeah. There's so much magic within bodies, the earth. There's a whole spirit world, right? We explore all these topics. There is magic in money. There's magic in asking and receiving. It's infinite. The dragons, the leprechauns, gold itself. Energy is here, and we can use all of it to our advantage. We can play with it and engage with it. You can too. It's available. It's possible. And I ran way over time, but I'm so grateful for you all being here with me and exploring this. I have such a gratitude for the magic in my life, and I wanted to share that with all of you and contribute in any way that I could. Oh, I love this. I'm truly grateful having received that invitation to join and for having said yes to the Wizardry membership. And that's just the beginning of an amazing journey of exploration of me. Exactly. It's of you. It's of the magic within you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Have a magical day and keep exposing the lies. So notice as people tell you something about magic and energy, if you get that heavy sense, it's just not true for you. Just, you can nod your head and go, oh, interesting, but don't buy it. Don't buy it. Let it go. The lies will expose themselves if you ask, and the truth will actualize if you ask for that too. Mwah! Bye for now. We'll see you in another live stream or in the membership or somewhere else someday soon. Bye for now.